All right, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here this evening. I do want to start by saying this is a repeat of our presentation in February. That February was a crazy month. There was a lot of rain, there was a lot going on, and many people didn't get a chance to make it. So we wanted to host another event, make sure everybody felt prepared for joining us in the fall. So thank you again for being here tonight. There's lots of information. We will be posting the slide deck, so don't feel like you have to take pictures. You're obviously welcome to, but we will be posting this so that you'll have access to all of this information. So lots of good stuff coming, and we'll be available towards the end if you have any questions. We'll first get started with Miss Madison Jaffe. She's going to share a little bit about Windsor High School from a student perspective.
Thank you. Thank you. So once again, my name is Madison Jaffe. I am a current senior at Windsor High School, and I'm the ASC president, so I'm very knowledgeable about student life. And I just want to go briefly over just some things that if you're a student here, you can know what to expect, or as a parent, you know what your students can be experiencing at school. So our school has a lot of fun events, amazing resources, and great support teams all around us. So we have, from the leadership side, we have obviously the opportunity to join leadership, which can bring some great opportunities. And if your kid is good at wanting to engage in the community and community service and helping out the school in different ways, that's a great opportunity for them. But also, if your students are interested in that, there's a bunch of events for your students to go to. So definitely encourage your students to go to events. We have great spirit, great football games, basketball games, volleyball, and all of our sports get great representation. And they're super fun to go to, so make sure you don't miss out on those. And even as parents, there's parent spots that you guys can go to enjoy all the games as well. We also have school dances and rallies. And one thing our school is great at is making sure that every student can go to all the events if they want to. For example, if money is an issue, there's other resources, so every student can get a prom dress for free or for the right prices. And there's also different money fillers that, so if your family can't pay for it, we want every student to go to every event. And we have lots of fundraisers so we can have as many free events as possible. And one thing that's also really great about our school is the connectedness between the students. So we have freshman seminar classes, which is what your students will be in. And that way they can connect with the same amount of people. And then as they go into different years of high school, they have cores, which is also a great connection. You'll learn more about that later. I'm not going to go too much into that. And freshman seminars is a great way for your student to know how they learn, and so that way they can choose the right core and pathway to their future. And so they kind of get guidance on beginning of high school life and how to take good notes and different things that a ninth grade student would need to be successful in high school. And then we also just have great resources like the Wellness Center. If your child's going through anything at all, the Wellness Center is there, and we have also an on-campus officer, which is the same one at the middle school. So we have great safety resources here and great ways for your student to be able to connect to different adults and be able to talk to people. And our grade counselors, whatever that's called, your school counselors, they're great for help as well. But we also have guidance counselors as well. And then I should make sure I'm not missing anything. And then one last thing is we have great electives and school opportunities, and we have lots of vast AP tests. And again, price isn't an issue. If your kid wants to take APs, everybody can take APs, but obviously that wouldn't be for freshmen. But we just have so many great electives leading into that your student can look into. Freshman year, you don't take as many classes, but it's great to start thinking about what electives they'd be interested in. And definitely look at what courses those would apply to. Psychology would go for health. So if your student's more interested in a psychology class, they might not want to take a regular course health, but both are very valuable. So that's just an example. And we just have so many great electives and so many new ones happening every year. So definitely keep an eye out on those, and seeing what segment they fulfill is very important to look at too, because it's just a great thing to have. So our school offers a lot, and I hope you guys have a great time being parents, watching your students grow here. And if you're a student, I hope you have a great time at Windsor High School.
Thank you so much, Madison. I actually taught her math when she was a freshman. It was awesome. She also, along with another one of our students, put on our first awards assembly. Last week we did an academic awards assembly. We had the entire school body in the gym, which was pretty cool. We've got over 1,600 students, so you can imagine them all crammed in the gym and just celebrating all of the great academic accomplishments, 9 through 12 for this entire year. So that was pretty cool. And Madison and Isabella put that on. So it's amazing what these kids can accomplish. And that's one of my favorite things here at Windsor High School is the opportunities that we provide them to try out new things and to really dive into their passions. So I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Danielle Buckman. I'm the principal here at the high school. This is my 11th year at Windsor High School. I started as a math teacher, and I did that for a few years, and then I was a math TOSA. So I was supporting teachers during COVID, that time that we're going to forget ever happened, right? We're going to move past that. And then I was an assistant principal, and now I have the honor of being the principal here. And honestly, there's really no other place that I would rather be. I love it here. I love our students, and I'm super excited to have your kiddos in the fall. I have an amazing team that I work with here. I've got Mr. Joe Statham. He's one of my assistant principals. Come on out. Don't be shy. Come on. Hiding in the dark. Davin Godwin is another assistant principal that we have. And Stephen Summers, who's not with us tonight. He's out supervising one of the many athletic events that we have on any given evening, on any given piece of this facility. So, he didn't have to come and present tonight, but you'll definitely see him when you join us again in the fall. So we'll dive into all of the good stuff. I'm going to have one of you guys be my click, because we don't have one of those. And okay, so first things first, I just want to point out some dates to mark on the calendar. These are important ones. So August 5th is our 10th through 12th grade orientation. So let's say you don't have a freshman, you're going to come on that date. If you're a 10th grader, that's when you're going to get your hearing test. You'll pick up a paper copy of your schedule. You'll get a chance to kind of do a tour of the campus, check in with your counselors if you need to. Again, that's August 5th is for 10th through 12th graders. And then August 6th will be for our 9th graders. We're planning to do it in the evening time, so probably start around 4, go to 6, make it more of a kind of a fun, lively event, have our clubs, have our chores, maybe have a food truck. Students obviously will be able to pick up their schedules, have their picture taken for their ID. So we're hoping to make it a really fun, welcoming event, kind of give you a glimpse of what your students get to experience. And then August 14th, that's our first day of school. So make sure you mark those on your calendar. They'll be here before we know it. All right, so the two things that we get asked a lot about here is, what is a block schedule? And can you please talk to me about this rotating A-day, B-day thing? Because I have no idea how to keep track of it. And it's okay, because many parents, it takes them all 4 years before they finally get it down, right? And then their child graduates. So on the left, this is kind of a typical schedule. So both of our blocks, so our A days and our B days, they have 4 class periods. And so sometimes you'll hear your kids say like, hey, I've got a late start today, or I'm out early today. What the heck does that mean? So an early day means they have 1A, 2A, and 3A. So they start at 8:30, and then they're done about 2:05. They don't have that last block, so that 4A. And then the next day, they might have a late start. So that means they don't have a 5B, and they come in at break. We recommend they get here at break so they're on campus before class starts, right? Because we don't want them to be tardy. We want them to be in class on time. So they can come in during break, and then their class would start at 10:15, and then they would have a 6B, a 7B, and an 8B, and be done at 3:35. So that's kind of a possibility of what the schedule could look like. Now, your kiddo might have 2 early starts, and they're done at 2:05 both days. They could have 2 late starts, and they come in at 10 both days, right? So it really just kind of depends on where their classes land. But this is what they mean by that early and that late start. And then the other piece is our alternating A-day, B-day schedule. So the first day of school, the 14th, that will be an A-day. That means the next day will be a B-day, right? And then Monday would be an A-day. Let's say Monday is a holiday. We just skip that, right? And if Monday was supposed to be an A-day, now that means Tuesday is your A-day, right? You eventually get it down. or you don't, and you just have to keep checking the calendar. I look all the time, so it's okay. A lot of times students will have 2 backpacks, an A-day backpack and a B-day backpack, and then they just have everything in one, and they're good to go, right? So you and your family will figure out a routine that works. And there'll be times where they show up and they think it's A-day, but it's actually B-day, and we'll shuffle them back to the class that they're supposed to. So we help them along the way. They get it a lot faster than we do, and that's all right. But generally, that's kind of what you can expect your schedule to look like. All right, now I'm going to have Mr. Statham talk about attendance. He's going to touch on some safety topics and some more, right? Some more stuff.
Yeah. Well, good evening, everyone. Great to see everybody and welcome. For our Windsor families, I mean, you know the place a little bit, but just to give you some info, and we have lots of prospective families. So hopefully you'll just hear some things tonight that will really help you to solidify and get you feeling like, hey, this is the right place for my son or daughter. I'm kind of the old guy around here. I mean, it's my 36th year. I've been in Windsor since I think 97 or 98. My 2 kids went here. My son graduated in 17, my daughter in 2021. So it's a wonderful place. So welcome. I'm just talking about a couple things right now, and I'll talk about a few things a little bit later. But attendance matters. They're at high school now. They're earning credits towards graduation. They're earning grades towards college applications and whatnot. And we have tardy policies and attendance policies. So it's really important for you on the parental end to make sure your son or daughter is getting here on time, that they're showing up every day, and not to hit on it too hard. But we have Wednesday detention. We'll have Saturday school. We have different things along the way. They ultimately can lose credit if they have too many cuts and unexcused absences. So just want to make you all aware of that. Oh, and before we go, Windsor High School is a closed campus. So sometimes hey, you're in high school now, you can go do whatever you want. Well, when you get here in the morning until your classes are done, you don't leave the school, right? So that's just one of our policies as well. We don't have gates, but it's still a closed campus. Okay. One of my roles is I deal with most of our safety. We take our school safety very, very seriously. We want your son, daughter to be able to come here all 4 years and feel safe every day. We are very blessed. Windsor District has a school resource officer, JP Tamayo. He's for the district, but he is housed here. So he's with us most days, most blocks. We have 4 student advisors that are kind of throughout our campus watching over things all day long. We do safety drills. We practice lockdowns. We practice fire drills. Like, we want your students to know what to do if we ever have situations. We monitor, dress code. We want to keep all kids safe. We want to make sure we're not showing gang affiliation and the problems that would go with that. And so we work very closely with the Windsor PD. I host, but we're all doing this together. We host an active shooter training with our students. Okay, how sad is that? But we are at a point in time where we need to talk our students through, hey, what will we do if something happens, right? Because, the more prepared they are and the more they've had a chance to think, then the more likelihood they're going to not panic and they're going to know kind of what to do. And we will offer that for you all as well, probably sometime this fall. We have a Stop It app system, and throughout campus, the kids can download it on their phones. Like, if they see something that's amiss, they can text that in. If they're feeling anxiety about something, if they need help with something, they can text, and then we get those and we respond. We have a great kind of student crisis team, our student advisors, we have counselors, and so we take it real serious that hey, we want to be on the lookout, not for trouble, cut down on fights, but having kids in crisis that really just need somebody to come along and help them. So that's just a big part of what we do here, along with all the academic and sports and all that too. Ms. Godwin.
Hi, I'm Gavin Godwin, one of the other assistant principals. I'm going to talk to you about our freshman seminar. Our freshman seminar is a new class this year, and it's designed to orient your student into all of the best practices and habits for success in college career readiness, which is what they're going to be doing for the rest of their time here at Windsor High School. It has built-in teaching them and having them practice and master strategies for organization, time management, conflict resolution, self-advocacy. It really works on building the student up for success to be able to operate to their very best potential in the rest of the grades 10 through 12. We also, starting next year, are going to be embedding the most important units from our health class into our freshman seminar. And it is going to be starting next year. It's a policy that all ninth graders will be enrolled in our freshman seminar class. It's or Avid 9, yeah, there's an Avid class too, so they'll be in one of those classes. And again, it has study skills. Again, it's really setting people up for success.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you tell, because if you chose Avid, can you explain the difference between the two, kind of?
Absolutely. And there's a slide. I can do that now, or we can go. The Avid, that's okay. That's all right. I can talk about both of them. So the freshman seminar and Avid 9 are going to be very, very similar. There is going to be a little more career preparation in the freshman seminar class, and a little more focus on university preparation specifically in the Avid class. Otherwise, the Avid 9 teacher is also a freshman seminar teacher. So there are very important things that happen in the seminar class that absolutely will also happen. For example, Counselor on the Move, they come to the seminar class and the Avid 9 class. And so we want to, the most important crucial things are going to be offered in both. And again, the Avid 9 is focused a little more on going straight into the four-year university upon graduation. Yeah. What is a core? The cores are a unique experience at Windsor High School. They are schools within a school. They are small learning communities that kind of break down our huge school into smaller communities where the teachers and students really get to know each other over a series of now starting, for most students, it'll be 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, where they will be in classes with students that are going to be experiencing similar pathways. Most of our pathways are career technical education pathways, where the students are going to be learning about a specific sector of career readiness and preparation. They also, of course, are going to be college ready. All of our classes are A through G approved, and all of them, as they go through high school, they're going to be getting again, college and career readiness experiences. Our 10th grade course, after your student is in 9th grade, where they have the seminar experience, in February of their 9th grade year, they're going to be able to choose their courses for 10th grade. And their 10th grade options include an arts, media, entertainment core, Vineyard or Soul, which is a business hospitality focus, innovation STEM, Discovery is an honors opportunity. Build is a construction core. Exercise science is going to be focusing on sports medicine. Rise core for our multilingual learners. And then a hybrid core, which is actually an independent study online core. And those are going to be the options that they have next year for their 10th grade year. And that 10th grade, the core has English, history, and science, CTE. Yeah, their CTE is the career focus of what I just listed. And then that is an introductory pathway to their 11-12 core. They're not totally tied in, like if they end up in exercise science in 10th grade, they don't have to go to our community health academy, but it's a logical step, and they may go to the community health academy and finish that, but they can also go into what will become our sports medicine pathway too. But they could also go to anyone. But the key thing about the core is that it breaks our huge school down into smaller communities where 3 teachers are focusing on shared students, and they can collaborate together to serve those students better. They get to know each other. The students get to know each other and have a core identity and a belonging to a smaller group on campus, and the teachers get to know those students really well. And they provide extensions and opportunities for learning in and out of the classroom. We have lots and lots of opportunity for advancement and acceleration. Honors courses first. We do have honors options. An honors class will be expecting more rigor, a little more leadership expectation in some of the classes. We also have some opportunities where there is embedded honors, where the students will all be in the same class, and some of those students are electing to have an honors experience, and they will have slightly different and modified expectations for some of their assignments. They'll be expected to bring in resources, sometimes facilitate discussion groups, and the honors experience is designed to prepare students for collegiate success also. So it's a slightly more academic focus with a more academic rigor. We also have, starting in 10th grade, advanced placement classes. And an advanced placement class is literally a college level class. And in May, when the students take the advanced placement test, if they earn a 3, 4, or a 5, they can actually earn college credit for that subject area. So that's an even more rigorous course, because it literally is a college level class. And the teachers are all high school teachers, so of course they know they're teaching high schoolers, they know how to make the material accessible to the students and prepare the students for that test. One of the benefits of taking an AP class is that if you take the tests and pass the tests, you can go into college already with units ready, which will make your time at college shorter, and you can end up paying less at college. And then we also have dual enrollment courses where students are allowed to take JC classes. In fact, high school students can take JC classes for free. The tuition is no cost to a high school student. There's a process. They absolutely want to meet with their academic counselor when they do this. They need to get permission, but they go and take an actual JC class. Often at the JC, sometimes they're online. A really common class that a lot of students take is to fulfill the language other than English requirement for a college readiness. They can take, for example, a sign language at the JC as an option. And one semester at the JC counts for an entire year of high school credit. So that's a really cool opportunity. The tuition is free, but if there are books or materials, like if they're taking an art class and it's a watercolor class, the student will need to pay for watercolors and the materials and stuff. We also have CCAP classes, which are JC classes offered during our class time, during our bell schedule, usually last block or first block, right here on our campus. And that's a partnership that we have with the JC that will actually bring certain courses aligned with some of our pathways, so that students can actually start with their certification for certain careers at the JC while they're here with us at the high school. And we have supports for students who qualify for 504s or IEPs. 504, we have a dedicated case manager who oversees all of the accommodations and communicates those accommodations to the teachers, has the annual meetings with the parents to make sure that everyone is in the know about what accommodations are being made for the student in the class. Similarly, and that case manager is a liaison between the teachers and the parents and the student. Similarly, with students with IEPs, there's a dedicated ed specialist. Each student has an ed specialist who, in 9th grade, often will be pushing into some of their classes. If your student has an IEP, their ed specialist might be actually in their English class or their math class or their history class. They might, to actually experience and support the students in that class. They also have access if they need a learning center, if they need extended time on a test or an alternative testing setting. Yeah. And then we're back to the AVID program. AVID is almost, actually this year I think it is actually a 50-year-old program. It started 50 years ago in Chula Vista, California, down in San Diego County. And it's intended originally to prepare students that were historically the farthest from opportunity, or what we call first-generation college-bound students. To prepare them for collegiate success, for them to be able to go straight into a 4-year university and be successful there and graduate with at least their bachelor's degree. And it's one of the most successful programs ever for upward educational and career mobility for students, again, whose families did not graduate from a university. Our students, most years, we have 100% acceptance rate into 4-year universities in our AVID program. This year we have 47 students, and I think 45 of them have already been accepted into the universities, multiple universities, even though sometimes they're the first to even graduate in high school. So we provide a lot of those same skills and experiences that I was describing in the seminar class, the freshman seminar class, all throughout high school. We offer them the support to access increased rigor so that they're prepared to be successful at university.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sibella Bricio, and I'm one of the counselors here at Windsor High School. At Windsor High School, students are assigned to their counselor by last name, and they work with their counselor throughout their stay here at Windsor High School. So they have the same counselor all 4 years. As you can see, we have Lauren Schmidt, Sandra Brito, Eva Velasquez, and myself and our different alpha breakdowns. As part of our counseling department, we also have Kelly Wood, who's our counseling secretary. She's a great resource to students and oftentimes the first face that greets students when they come into the counseling center. If a student is looking for us and we are not in our office or they need to leave a note for us, Kelly is a great resource. We also have Barbara Morgan, our registrar. She's the one who handles, keeps our student records. And so she works closely with our counseling team to ensure that student records are accurate. And then we have our college and career counselor, Ms. Barb Finley. And she will be someone that your students will get to know throughout these next 4 years. She's oftentimes doing counselor on the move for us, working on presentations with us, going into the classroom, and coordinating a lot of our school-wide events around college and career. Thank you. And so this next slide shows a breakdown of Windsor High School's graduation requirements in comparison to 4-year college entrance requirements. And so as you can see, students must complete 220 credits in these various subject areas. Now, one of our roles as their counselor is to work with them each year to ensure that they're meeting their graduation requirements and fulfilling 4-year college entrance requirements if they'd like to apply to college their senior year. And so, there are areas that are very similar. The biggest difference is ensuring that for students who want to apply to a 4-year university directly after high school, that they're maintaining grades and are pursuing or fulfilling those minimum requirements. And so we can move on to the next slide. One of the biggest questions that students ask us is, how do I complete those 220 credits? And there's this feeling or this need to fill up your schedule within those first few years of high school. And what we actually recommend is that students spread out their courses throughout their 4 years here at Windsor High School. We want students to be successful, and this graph here shows how a student can complete their graduation requirements and at the same time fulfill 4-year college entrance requirements without loading themselves, at the beginning of the year. And so for our freshmen, we'll start them off with English, freshman seminar, biology, a math class, PE, and an elective class. And that will help them earn 60 credits, an average of 60 credits if they're passing their classes. Yeah. Okay, so I think most of our families here in the room their students have selected classes already, or some of you may have met with your counselor. And so your next step would be to attend orientation. Orientation, as mentioned before, is where students will come by and pick up their schedule in early August. They'll have an opportunity to tour the campus and receive information about our campus. And so more information about orientation will come out through Parent Square, so be on the lookout for information about that event over the summer. And if we have any new families here in the room, families who are just now thinking about Windsor High School, we would like you to work on completing the ARIES online enrollment for Windsor residents or the interdistrict transfer application process for out-of-district families. This application will be received, has been open from March 9th and will be received until May 2nd. And it will be reviewed on a first-come, first-served basis based on submission. IDT acceptance is contingent upon some criteria, right? We're looking at grades, discipline, things such as program availability. But families will be communicated within 14 days of May 2nd. And further information about this process can be found on our website. If you go to the I Am a Prospective Family tab, you will find all the information around enrollment. And if you have additional questions throughout this process, our College and Career Secretary is more than happy to help out, so you can reach out to her by email or over the phone.
Thank you.
One of the things that we want to encourage all incoming students is to get involved. Their high school experience will be, greatly enriched if they're doing something other than, coming in the morning and walking off campus in the afternoon. If they're getting involved with different groups, I'll talk about sports in a second. But we have a lot of clubs, and all of our clubs are student generated. You may see a club up here right now that wouldn't be there next year because a group of kids, were not interested in it. And parents next year might see 3 different ones because, incoming 9th graders this year were like, hey, what if we had a, book of the month club? And they'll help start a club, and they'll find a teacher to help them get that going. So lots of opportunities to do things, not just in the classroom, but to be able to interact. A lot of our clubs go out and do things in the community. They go out for the greater good. So we just want to encourage you all to, have your kids, reach out and look at what's going on. Part of our orientation in August, we have club fairs, so they'll get exposed to everything that we have once we get them here and get them on campus. All right, athletics, and I will just say one thing as a parent, because as Sybil's talking about your kids' schedule, my 2 kids went through here. Maybe one year, one of the kids took a 7th class. Like I know sometimes as incoming parent, my kid will take 8 classes, and your kid might get burned out. Like you don't have to take 8 classes or 7, even your freshman year. Both my kids my kids are smarter than I am. They went through the AP program. You can make it through and take lots of AP classes. You don't have to jam every single class in your freshman year. Like let them come, let them get acclimated, and they will earn plenty of credits over those 4 years. Okay, athletics. Mr. Summers is our athletic administrator. I used to do all that. I'm old now. He's younger. He can be out 5 nights a week because we have sports non-stop. So just about anything your child might be interested in is probably a CIF sport. So from our fall sports, winter sports, spring sports, a couple sports that kind of go year round. Biggest thing for us is we are student athletes. Your student has to have a 2.0 to participate in sports. Your son or daughter right now this spring at Cali or at the middle school or at whatever other junior high they might be at, if they want to enter this year and play a fall sport, they have to have a 2.0. So their grades matter. Their grades right now matter at the middle school, the junior high that they're at. So all the info, I mean, it's up here, and we will do a little link for you all at the end. You can take a picture with your phone and see all this. But things that you can do, things you can do online. You can begin, planning to get a sports physical. We have online clearance form. Now, you don't need to do this on April 9th, right? You're going to do some of these things if they're going to be playing a fall sport or a sport that's going to do like summer workouts. You can do all this last week of May, first week of June. But to make plans for their physical, online clearance, and then meeting eligibility requirements. But we have wonderful opportunities. We have sports that are uber competitive. We hold tryouts, and sometimes kids get cut. And we have sports that if you want to go out for the sport, we have room for you on the team. So lots of different opportunities, along the way. We have things. We are student-centered. One of the best things that we have that is new to us is our wellness center. We have a place for students to go on campus that they can get checked in with somebody, they can go talk to somebody, they can go chill out and take a little fork in the sand and move the rocks around and just clear their head for a few minutes, right? Kids are under a lot of stress. There's lots of anxiety out there. And they can do check-ins. We have a little scan pass system. They can go for 10 or 15 minutes. If they need that little break. So that's just a wonderful opportunity, and this fall when y'all come, or if you come for a tour, we'll take you through that, and we take all of our freshmen through our wellness center so they know how to access it and they know what's available.
All right, before we kind of come to a close, let's give my team a round of applause. Right? I'm lucky to work with a great group of people. So Davin, Mr. Statham, Sibel, Javier's back here translating for us. He's our bilingual community liaison. So we're very lucky. We have a great group of people that we get to work with here, and I'm very, very blessed. So as we kind of come to an end, we have to acknowledge something. Right? We're all about to embark on a long-term relationship, right? We're going to be here together for 4 years. And there's some things that we're going to commit to you guys, right? We're going to commit to creating a safe learning environment. We all know that our students cannot learn and cannot engage in their education if they don't feel safe on campus. So that is number one for us. We need your kids to feel safe while they're here. We're going to have consistent and fair discipline, right? There's going to be choices that are made that are not the best, and we're going to help them learn from those mistakes and move forward. But we can commit to that. We can commit to rigorous coursework, open and timely communication, not only from myself, from my other administrators, but also from the teachers, right? They're going to be your kind of your lifeline to how your student's doing, and we really encourage you to reach out, ask questions, and check in, see how your kiddo is doing in their class. Obviously a supportive community, like I said, we love it here, and provide ample and diverse extracurricular activities for all of your students. Like Mr. Statham was saying, we really want all students to get involved in some way or another. So whether that's your club, whether that's athletics, there's so many resources here for students to be connected, and the more that they can feel connected to their school community, the more success they're going to find here. So those are our commitments, and there's some things that I need from you guys in return. I need you to get your kids here on time every single day, please. Right? It might seem like 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there isn't a big deal, but when you're looking at that over the course of the year, they're missing a lot in class, right? And the more successful they're going to be is the more time that they're in that seat. We're going to ask that you stay informed about grades and assignments, right? You're checking that online platform to make sure that they're turning everything in on time. And if you see that something's missing, reach out, because they're likely going to say, I turned it in, I'm just waiting for the teacher to grade it. And that's not always true. Not most of the time, right? So check in, reach out to the teachers, check those grade books. Communicate with school staff, right? If something's going on at home, loop in their school counselor so then we know to keep an extra eye on them because something's going on at home and they need some extra love that week, right? Loop us in, let us know. Consistent support with homework at home, right? Put a quiet space where it's a dedicated time where they can focus on that. Because there's going to be many days where they come home and they just want to veg out, And unfortunately, it's high school. They're going to have homework every day, and they need that time. And then lastly, encourage your students to use social media responsibly. And I know this might be kind of a crazy thing to say at an orientation, but honestly, when I was in high school, there wasn't social media. And I'm so thankful for that, because I see the way that social media plays an impact in our students' lives, and honestly, it's not always good. So really encouraging them to use it smart, be safe on there, right? And maybe limit the use of it, because really what everybody's doing on there doesn't matter. It's what's going on at home and what's going on at school that's really the best part of it. So we're going to commit to this. I'm going to ask that you guys commit to it, and we're going to have an amazing year. I'm so excited that you're here, that you're joining us, that you're picking Windsor High School, and we look forward to a great year. So thank you so much.